Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this presentation of family values. We hope you enjoy your time with us. Feudalism was a very important system that took place in the Middle Ages, especially in Europe. It was a ranked society, and yet it helped family values in such a way that there was no other society like it afterwards, with the advent of the Enlightenment era. The Catholic Church was the midst of this feudalist society, especially in Europe, with the Catholic Church at its midst. Then we move on to capitalism, where family values, at the center of its core and its governments, got destroyed. After the advent of the Middle Ages, after the Dark Ages, if you will, this is referring after the High Ages, if you will, we started to see the emergence of many new values, reforms, if you will. This is a period called the Renaissance, what people might refer to as the rebirth of society. Things that were lost, things discovered, philosophies and such. And even the Protestant movement. But not just this. It also gave rise to the birth of many European systems. Some were oppressive. We could also remember the time when Europeans expanded across other nations, including the African nations in the African continent, and also the Americas in North and South America, with the aid of the British and the Spanish and the Portuguese and more. And this gave birth to capitalism. What do we know about capitalism? Capitalism is basically an economic system which has market value. It favors profit. It favors private ownership, businesses, private businesses as we see it today. This destroyed family values. The feudal system that was present in the peasants, nobles, and even the church. But this even destroyed, if you will, the major influence of the Catholic Church in Europe. Now, what is the side effect of capitalism, everyone? Property rights. The one who was basically owning everything. And who had the upper hand? White men did. Not women, not colored men, not colored women. White men. This was the reason of their expansion. European expansion. It was gained because of economic purposes, and this was its reason. Now, a lot of people who are Christian nationalists might think, oh, this is a spiritual war that we're fighting in America. But it is not. America, if you will, is a unique nation with its own developments, we're not going to lie, and it has its values and its sense. But it was not founded on spiritual principles. It was actually founded on reasoning principles. A lot of people don't know this. Thomas Jefferson was against those who were deeply spiritual. He was not those people who were in favor of spirituality. He cited God during the Declaration of Independence, but he was not a spiritual man. He did not believe in angels, if you will. And this is the proof. Now, you asked me how capitalism is effective today. Here's my arguments. And I'm going to bring some interesting arguments here. Now, capitalism has favored money rather than families. We might think we favor the nuclear family in terms of mother, father, 2 kids, and stuff like that. Well, those values are very nice and important, and we should continue to provide for the family. We should also take note how our current society is. Any person with power is the one with more money, the one who benefits more with the money. Not who is actually the head of the house or who actually has a lasting legacy, if you will, in the feudal society. Now, we're not trying to say to go back to feudal society or anything else. Quite the contrary, we should try and value families more in this society. We do not want to remove capitalism, but perhaps at the same time hold family as very important. Where did we first come from? Who are we first born into? We're not born into money. We're not born into the houses of big riches or kings or palaces. We are born into our families. Mother, father, sisters, brothers. Shouldn't we all be a family? If I was the Western king, I'd be considerate of the family. Anyways, here is proof. We can all see here the enslavement of Africans and the separation of families during those times. I'm glad that it's illegal now. And also Manifest Destiny, the displacement of Native Americans. And what else do we see? We also see today's issue with the separation at the border of families. There's disorder going on. If there was true order, there would be unity rather than division. And you see, this is my argument towards the separation of families. The argument is the abusive nature of men who have more of the money. Get it? The one who pays the bills. Who pays the bills around here? You have to listen to me. I am master. Not the one who says, I am important. I am the legacy of our family. We should all be important because I am the one responsible. You see, it's the man to care for his children. But anyways, this is my argument for this portion of this presentation, ladies and gentlemen. And another thing, a lot of biblical passages are cherry-picked by politicians who suit their agenda. And this is why capitalism is harmful towards the Bible even. The Bible was not built on capitalist values. It was built not just on charity, but also in the Old Testament we see an agrarian society. What do we see value here? We don't only see the apostles and their successors, but we see families being valued in the New Testament. And don't forget, the Old Testament, the violent Old Testament that people like to say, is more violent than the New. What is valued here? Family. What happened to Abraham? He was the one who fought for his family to rescue Lot with 300 trained men against nations who wanted to subdue them. You see, he rescued Lot and his family by using the product of the family values. You see, if there was a relative that was so important and he was powerful, he was also a strong force, a strong ally. Not money, not a trade federation, if you will. But also, there were downsides to this. Peasants. We're not saying to return to power like this. We're just saying to hold family values on high amidst this capitalist society. This is my point. Let us all bring value to our families and let us all value each other. That way, the children will be safe from harm in Palestine and Israel.